How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, the greatest co-host in the world, Mike The Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
You know that I can't answer that honestly. We'd be half the show just on that. So I'm excited to talk about the first 4 weeks of the schedule. So that is a positive thing.
Absolutely. Mike, before we discuss the first 4 weeks of the schedule, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
At CD Piglet. I'm having trouble with that too. My tweets are sending like 12 hours after I send them. So people are getting random stuff from like the day before about, and I'm like, when did I put that? And I just found out that my tweets go like dark and they don't send till the next day. I don't know why.
Very, very strange. Well, Mike, I know you're having a day, sir. So I'll try to get us navigate us through this conversation. Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Hopefully not 12 hours later. Well, Mike, here we are with season 2 of our latest series, Cowboys Crystal Ball, a series where we bring on a guest to discuss the Cowboys' schedule in 4-game increments. Our guest tonight is a loyal Cowboys fan. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Dylan Wilson. Dylan, how are you?
Going on, guys? I'm doing a lot better than Mike. I'm doing good though, man. I'm happy to be here, guys.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on, Dylan. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Man, if I don't get suspended, 88 Club Dylan. That's where I'm at now, man. I'm doing all right so far. I'm trying to build my following back up, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I noticed your handle was different, and I went to your page just to see if like you had any content to share, and I'm like, it shows that you haven't tweeted in a long time or anything, and I'm like, what's going on? And I noticed that the handle was different, so I imagine there's a story there.
Once you figure out the story, let me know. Let me know. I literally got suspended one day.
Oh, really?
I never got an explanation, nothing. I was like, okay. I said, yeah, this is some crazy stuff, man. So I was like, I don't know. I just tweet here, man. It's your platform. I just be here. So it is what it is. If anything, you can always follow me on. You can always follow me on TikTok though, Dylan88 Wilson. That's where I usually put out videos and stuff. I've been taking a little break, but I'll get back to it and stuff. There's a lot of good stuff, timeless stuff there. You'll be entertained, hopefully.
Yeah, I was checking out your TikTok, and I saw you talk a little bit about. It looks like some music, video games, Cowboys, of course, and a variety of other things.
Yeah, I'm a nerd, man. You get me talking about anything. It could be Star Wars, Cowboys, video games, scary movie stuff. I'm there. I know Mike is a little bit like that
Star
too.
Wars,
he's right up my alley.
Oh man,
huge nerd.
Yeah, don't get him started. Well, guys, let's go ahead and get after it. We're going to be talking about the Cowboys' first 4 weeks of the season. Week 1, we're at the New York Giants, and in 2022, their Giants' regular season record was 9-7-1. Their playoff record was 1-1. They lost in the divisional round to the Philadelphia Eagles, and their 2023 strength of schedule is tied for 4th with Dallas. And a key stat from last season, after a 7-2 start, the Giants went on to win only 2 of their final 8 games. Dylan, I'm curious, when you look at the Giants, what was their most significant offseason addition?
I mean, is it a cop-out answer to say their first-round pick, Deontay Banks?
No,
because I know a lot of Cowboys fans were looking at him as a fallback option, and I think he's a really good corner, man. And especially they need defense, they need secondary. CD's gonna light them up like usual, so give them all the help they can get, man.
Absolutely,
he is.
Mike, did you have any key offseason additions for the Giants this year?
When I saw that question, instantly you try to answer it, and in my head I was like, did they bring in anybody? Like, right. I can't think of anybody they brought in. So mine was the first thing. I was like, it's got to be the top draft pick, because I can't think of anybody that they brought in that's significant. So yeah, I didn't have anybody either.
Yeah, I hear you.
Do you think one thing that they did was they brought guys back? do you think they made the right move in re-signing Daniel Jones and tagging Saquon Barkley?
I mean, we're Cowboys fans here, so absolutely they made the right decision. Bring back Daniel Jones, pay the running backs, do all that good stuff, man. That's how I feel.
For real.
I hear you. I don't know. I look at Daniel Jones' contract, and I know you say what you will about him, but it's a team-friendly deal, and I think you get that guy some weapons until he'll surprise some people. Mike, I know you're not a fan of Daniel Jones, but
I don't know about all that, Paul.
He's okay.
I understand.
I just don't think you pay okay quarterbacks.
Yeah, he's getting paid $40 million this year. I think that's the same as Dak, and I don't have him in the same stratosphere as Dak in terms of talent.
No, me neither. Right. He doesn't. He has some unique running ability, and I think Brian Daboll did a good job of hiding his weaknesses this year. And they kept the turnovers down, but he also didn't. What did he throw? Like 15 touchdowns? Like he didn't do much either.
Yeah, but what weapons did he have though? Can you from 2022? Can you name other than Sterling Shepard a wide receiver from the Giants room? From the Giants.
Well, I mean, Galladay was good when he had a good quarterback.
Yeah,
Stafford, he was
Kenny
a killer.
Galladay, but
he was 1,000-yard, 8-touchdown guy with Matthew Stafford. Then for some reason, that's why I don't get the Jalen Hyatt. Like, what'd you get a deep threat guy for? You don't ever throw with that quarterback. He never throws the ball deep.
I don't know. Talk about Kenny Galladay not doing much, but then you look at like a guy they got off the street, Isaiah Hodgins. You look at Richie James, Darius Slayton, Daniel Bellinger. Those guys were doing something. Kenny Galladay, I think he's just washed.
I think Kenny Galladay has a skill set that didn't. Same with Hyatt. Kenny Galladay was a deep ball guy, a 50-50 guy, and Daniel Jones doesn't throw the ball like that. He is a quick read, get the ball out or run. And so he fits more with the guys that you mentioned than with Galladay, where Stafford is looking to air it out. So I think it's just fit,
I hear you.
So you don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to stand in the pocket and deliver the deep balls to Hyatt like that?
He doesn't throw those. Like he's not a good deep ball guy. Right. He's not very accurate on deep balls. He doesn't have a big arm. So the thing is if Jalen Hyatt can just blow by a guy and be wide open, like college-wise, then I believe Daniel Jones could do that. And I believe they'll scheme up some of that. Like it's not like I think he'll get no deep balls to him. They'll scheme up some things where they'll catch people, but it's not going to be a thing where they're throwing, all right, Jalen Hyatt, we're going to get him 5 deep balls a game. I don't see Daniel Jones throwing that. And it's not something he's shown to be able to do very well either.
Understandable. Well, Dylan, I know you're not a big fan of Daniel Jones, it sounds like, but when you look at the Giants' moves this offseason, do you feel like they got him enough help to maybe get a better idea of what type of quarterback he is?
I mean, Mike brings up a good point that's not traditionally the type of player that, Hyatt wouldn't traditionally be the type of player that Daniel Jones would go for, but it makes me wonder if it's a chicken and egg type situation, if he's not great at throwing those passes or he just didn't have the players to throw those passes. So I don't know. I think Hyatt should theoretically bring a new dimension to their offense, allow them to stretch the field and hopefully get those underneath passes going a little bit better. But I don't know, man. Like in terms of as a offseason as a whole and getting them weapons, like I'm of the belief like you could give him Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. He's not going to win the Super Bowl, man. It's Daniel Jones. So, that's just how I feel about it.
He definitely has a lower ceiling than a lot of starting quarterbacks. I would say that.
So do you think? I mean, when you think about comparing Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones, what's the conversation there for you, Mike?
I have Cousins a tier higher than Daniel Jones as a passer. Daniel Jones brings some unique mobility, But as a thrower, I would take Kirk Cousins to throw if I'm looking for like a 2-minute drill and I need to get the ball down the floor, down the field, throwing it. I want Kirk Cousins over Daniel Jones.
But do you consider Daniel Jones to even be a franchise quarterback?
Not, I don't think so. I mean, has he thrown for 20 touchdowns before? Like,
he had one of the best rookie years of a quarterback.
Did he? I don't even remember it. I know that he had a good year with Dayball, but I'm worried that when teams get a year of film on what he can and can't do, that'll be an issue going forward.
Dylan, do you think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback?
Spoiler alert, no. But that's not really. Franchise quarterbacks are hard to come by, man. Like Daniel Jones, I think he's probably average. I'm trashing on him because he's a Giants player. I'm over here wearing Cowboys stuff, but but I wouldn't. No, I don't think he's a franchise player though.
Okay.
Which in our matchup, which wide receiver do you worry about having a big game against our secondary?
I would have said Hyatt, but you're kind of talking me out of it a little bit. I just see, kind of like Deshaun Jackson type qualities where he can get behind the defense and light you up. But yeah, I guess it does depend on the quarterback getting in the ball. If they do figure that out, it will be Hyatt. So I'll stick with that as my answer.
Mike, what about you?
There could be some sneaky trick plays. Maybe try to get Diggs to bite on something and use his speed to get by Diggs.
Is there a wide receiver on the Giants that worries you a bit, Mike, with this matchup? I'm sorry. Yeah, Mike, same question to you. Is there a Giants wide receiver that kind of worries you in this matchup? Is it Hyatt as well?
Yeah, it'd probably be Hyatt's deep ball presence. It's not like Daniel Jones can't throw to a wide open guy deep. So if he they break a coverage or blow a coverage against a guy with that kind of speed, yeah, he's a one-play touchdown type guy.
I got you. Looking at this matchup, Dylan, I'm kind of getting a sense of how you feel about the Giants overall, but do you think that they're a bad matchup for the Cowboys? Uh-oh. Looks like we lost Dylan here, guys. Mike, can you kind of touch on that question until Dylan comes back? Well, what are your thoughts on the Giants team as a matchup versus the Cowboys?
It's funny. We're going to talk about predictions later, but I actually don't like the matchup for them. I think the Giants don't match up well with us because their secondary is not that great. They have a good D line, but we typically, we're good against the NFC East, and the NFC East has great D line, so it's something we're able to do. And their offense isn't really scary, so I don't see them as a tough matchup for Dallas as far as matchup skill for skill type.
Gotcha. Same question to you, Dylan. What are your thoughts on the Giants? How the Cowboys match up with the Giants?
All jokes aside, I do think the Giants are a much improved team rather than a couple years ago. I think they are headed in the right direction. They've been doing a lot better in the draft as well, I feel. But in terms of being a bad matchup for the Cowboys, that's like a team like the 49ers that is great at interior pressure, can stop the run, and just makes it hard on your quarterback to get the ball out and everything. And I don't feel like the Giants are there yet. I think our offense can light them up. We've seen it time and time again. And you ask Dak Prescott what it's like to lose to Daniel Jones, he'll tell you, I don't know, man. Can't tell you. So, I mean, no, I don't really feel like they're a bad matchup at all.
Kind of crazy to think about that Dak has yet to lose to Daniel Jones.
It's insane.
He hasn't lost to the Giants at all since 2016, his rookie year.
Do you think the Giants got better this offseason at all?
Yeah, I think they definitely got better. In certain, you can get better by just addition by subtraction and getting rid of Kenny Golladay and everybody. And just the players that weren't meshing offensively and getting the right guys in. And I feel like they're bringing in people that could hopefully, for them, you could scheme around and do a little more dynamic things with your offense. And we'll see if they're able to put it together, though.
Yeah.
So I have an idea of how. Oh, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say development in the second year under Dable, development in his system, the leaps from Thibodeau, McKinney. If he has a bounce back year, yeah, I agree with that.
So Dylan, I have a feeling how you're going to answer this next. Yeah, I have a feeling how you're going to answer this next question, Dylan. But who wins this game?
Cowboys comfy in a blowout. We'll see Cooper Rush versus Daniel Jones in the fourth quarter. We'll decide who's better then.
I hear you. Okay, Mike, same question.
All right, I'm going with the upset here. I have a couple of reasons. One is Dallas under Mike McCarthy has used week 1 as the preseason. They don't do any real prep in the preseason, and they almost always come out looking horrible week 1. I also, Brian Daboll last year in his first week 1 appearance beat a really good team. Vrabel and the Titans had beaten the Patriots in week 1. They had beaten Kansas City in week 1. They're a really good team when they get extra time, and the Giants upset them. So I'm assuming that means that Daboll's really good with extra time. And I also believe that he's going to use that Dak's 10-0. Dak hasn't lost to you guys in such and such all offseason to motivate him. And I think one team will be prepared and the other team will be preparing their team. And I think that's going to be one of those ones where people go nuts. We lost Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy. Why is he calling plays? We stink. And then we'll have to hear it for a week and deal with it and then go from there.
Yeah, for me, I look at this game, and the Cowboys haven't won a week 1 game in 3 years. Sunday night games always make for entertaining games, and when you're playing a division opponent, anything can happen. However, I think Dallas ends its losing streak and wins this game.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to week 2 versus the New York Jets, and in 2022, the regular season record for the Jets was 7-10. They missed the playoffs, and their 2023 strength of schedule is the 6th most difficult. The key stat for the Jets of 2022 is 6 of the Jets' 10 losses were by single digits, and 4 of those 6 losses were on the road. Dylan, when you look at the Jets, is Aaron Rodgers the missing piece?
Yeah, they were a quarterback away. That's all they needed was getting the quarterback in there. They have a great defense. They have great weapons. And I like their coaching staff. It's just it's scary, to be honest, but thankfully they're in the AFC.
Yeah.
100%. So you think Rodgers is enough to make the Jets a playoff team then?
Yeah, I think they're legitimately Super Bowl contenders.
Oh, wow.
I don't think a true weakness on that team. Yeah, I think they're the real deal, to be honest, getting Aaron Rodgers in there.
Yeah, well, we know the offense is going to be better with Aaron Rodgers, Dylan, but do you look at the Jets' defense, and do you think that's better than Dallas's defense?
I think they have a lot of potential. They have a lot of upside, but I think right now I think I would take Dallas's right now. You got Micah, you got Trayvon Diggs, you got Stephon Gilmore. They have great players too, Sauce and all them, but like I would take Dallas right now.
Mike, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I think I would. I was going through. I would take Sauce Gardner over Diggs, although they're both amazing. So it's not like one's crap or one's bad. I think the rest of our secondary is better. I like their DTs better, but I like our edge rushers better. Linebackers are pretty much a wash. I guess you could give them a slight advantage if you wanted to, if they're healthy. We have Micah Parsons. They don't have Micah Parsons. So I think that give us the edge there. That's rough. They have guys that are tank-like, who's very, very good, but they don't have a Parsons. That guy is different.
I know they don't have a Micah Parsons, but they do have a Quinnen Williams. Do you think we see him, take that next step?
I mean, do they have him though? Is he going to sign that contract? What's going on? I haven't been keeping up with that. Is he going to hold out for it?
Yeah, let him hold out.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't know he was under negotiations right now. So thank you for sharing that, Dylan.
I thought he was, but I hope I'm not over here misleading y'all. But I thought he was trying to re-sign for like $17 million or something like that, and he's trying to negotiate for it. But maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Wouldn't be the first time.
All I know is he should hold out the first couple of weeks to try to get it. Come back like week 3, maybe week 4.
Right.
I'll take that.
We got a Mozzie Smith though to be all right. We have our own Quinn Williams. They just don't know it yet.
That's true.
We do. DT sometimes takes a year, but that kid could be. Man, I'm so happy they drafted him. Which is scarier for you when you see the matchup? Us going up against that excellent defense they have, or Aaron Rodgers versus our excellent defense?
They both sound terrible. I don't know. I've seen Aaron Rodgers do a lot of nasty stuff to our defense over the years, so it's hard for me to pick against them. So, there's a healthy respect there. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers in the offense.
Oh, man, yeah. Can't argue with you there. Mike, what about you? I'm curious what your thoughts are on that question.
Terrified of Rodgers. Of course. How can you not be? You've seen what they did last year when their team was trash bag at the time they played us, and we were whooping on them. And then Aaron Rodgers flipped the switch and said, I'm going to start throwing it deep to Christian Watson all day. And they were able to come back and beat us and maybe cost us the 1 seed, really. If you really break it down, that loss probably cost us the 1 seed, because if we win it, then we have something to play for against the Commanders. We probably play that game and win, and now you're the 1 seed. But that's last year. It is what it is. Aaron Rodgers, of course, I'm afraid of him.
Looking at this matchup, Dylan, Aaron Rodgers has had our number and had Dak's number, it looks like. Is this a Jets versus Cowboys game or a Dak versus Rodgers game?
I mean, I was just shining Aaron Rodgers' shoes, but it always felt like it was Cowboys versus Packers more so than Dak versus Rodgers to me. You know what I mean? So I think the story will be like the new look Jets versus the Cowboys. More so than Rodgers versus the Cowboys, in my opinion.
But that's funny you say that because, looking back, it has always kind of felt like Rodgers versus the Cowboys, never Rodgers versus Dak.
Yeah.
This
Which is surprising because Dak has played really well in all of their matchups except for probably that last one where we could have blame it on miscommunication with CD and Dalton, but that's neither here nor there. Sorry to cut you off, Mike.
No, please go at it. You're the guest, my friend, and I talk enough. The thing that's funny is we have such an elite player on the other end that it's probably going to be a Rodgers versus Parsons, is what it's. That's going into year 3.
That's a great point.
He's going to be that guy now. He's totally known 2 full years. Every week it's going to be Dak and Parsons. Like, that's what it's going to be every week.
Isn't it so nice as Cowboys fans that for so long we've been wanting like that war daddy, as Jerry calls it, a Des Bryant on the defense, a Dak on the defense, and we finally got that guy. Like it's about time, man.
And we got that guy. Not a guy. We got that guy.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
so give me your prediction, Dylan. Who wins?
I think Jets win this one. I think the Cowboys, they put up a tough fight. I think the Jets pull away at the end and hand us our first loss of the season.
Mike, how about you?
We got Brady last year. We typically bounce back on the second week. We beat Burrow and the Bengals with friggin' Cooper Rush. I believe they killed the Brady demon to end last year, and they killed the Aaron Rodgers demon to start this year. So I got them going 1-1, like almost everybody will. but I have it the weird ass way where we lose to Daniel Jones but beat Aaron Rodgers for some ass reason.
Yeah, for me,
that
it's
would be
another
the most
tough
Cowboys thing they could do.
Yeah, very true. It's another tough matchup for Dak in the offense and another test for the Cowboys offensive line. Dallas has played a total of 87 games on Monday night, winning 49 and losing 38. I have Dak and the Cowboys winning number 50 in week 2 versus Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. So I have the Cowboys starting up the season 2-0.
Homer. Oh, sorry. Something in my chest.
Hey, what's funny though, Mike, is that when we broke down the schedule a couple weeks ago, I was thinking that we could start off 0-4, 1-3. So,
yeah,
I do try to be realistic, but I was doing when I was doing some stat searching, I kind of changed my tune a bit.
We need this defense to win us some of these games that everybody goes down the schedule and goes, oh, you win that, you win that, you win that. Oh, tough team. Okay, loss. Tough. It's time you're going to lose an inexplicable game. You're going to lose a weird division game.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
you got to, this defense has got to lead us to a couple of wins that you're like, oh, damn, you went into Miami and won, a game like that.
Right. Kind of like how they did when Cooper Rush had to start those games last year.
Cincinnati is a great one. Exactly.
And the Rams, my friend.
Yeah. Another good one.
All right, so moving on to week 3 at the Arizona Cardinals in 2022, the Cardinals were 4-13. They missed the playoffs, and their 2023 strength of schedule is the 11th most difficult. And the key stat for the Cardinals is, despite Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins missing a combined 16 games, Arizona skill players had more receiving yards than the Cowboys skill players had. How crazy is that?
Man, that's nasty.
Yeah, it was only by 50 more yards, but I still thought that was shocking. All right, so you look at this Cardinals team, Dylan. I know they've got a lot of things to work on. A lot of people think they might be the worst team roster-wise in the NFL this year. But are the Cardinals better or worse than last season?
I mean, they won 4 games last year, didn't they? So the bar is pretty low for them. It's hard to be worse than that. So I think they'll be better by virtue of record, and getting disgruntled people out of the locker room. I think there is something to be said for that. I think teams usually become better when that happens. So they will be better next year.
Absolutely.
And do you think last year the issue was the coach Kingsbury, or do you think it was more the quarterback Kyler Murray?
Both. The coach was doing no favors at all. But if these anonymous quotes are to be believed, then Kyler has his own issues as well. Leadership issues, dedication issues. He doesn't want to come to practice and put in the extra work, apparently. And Call of Duty's fun, so I don't blame him, man. So, but yeah, man.
Mike, what are your thoughts on that question, though? Did Arizona make the right move letting Kingsbury go, or should maybe they have tried to trade Kyler before signing him to that big contract?
I would have probably went with both, like he said. Cliff Kingsbury seemed to get figured out by mid-season every year and never adjusted enough. And I've never been – y'all could go back to when this started. I've never been a Kyler guy. Relies on his physical ability way too much. And at some point, that is not going to be enough. You have got to be able to a big arm and being fast is not going to win you a lot of games in the NFL if you're not willing to put the work in to know where to throw it, to be accurate, to get the timing down, to understand your protections and what blitzes might be coming at you. And he's never been my guy. It's only gotten worse since he started in the league. So I would have never drafted Kyler Murray. I would have definitely not signed him. I would have tried to trade him if I could. Not my type of quarterback and not my type of person that I want to be the leader of my franchise.
It's crazy to think about, though, that if those rumors are true about him not wanting to practice and not, studying the playbook and everything, for him to still be that good, I mean, that's crazy.
One of the most talented.
We talked about the coaching change.
He has all the talent. It's never.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Dylan. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to
The
say.
delay is messing me up.
Yeah, I know, right? I was going to say we talked about the Cardinals letting Kingsbury go, and they bring in a defensive-minded head coach in Jonathan Gannon, former defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Do you think the Cardinals made the right hire, bringing a defensive-minded guy when you look at the Cardinals defense and the team overall?
I mean, Gannon's a good coach in general, so I don't think it matters whether you bring in an offensive coach or a defensive coach. Just get a good coach, and I really respect him. I think I think he's the guy to turn that franchise around. And maybe there is something about having a defensive coach because they're usually the harder nosed guys and everything. They're usually the more disciplinary ones rather than the cool, extravagant offensive minds. But so I think he might be the balance that Kyler needs going forward.
They have some unique pieces on defense too that, with the right coach could really take them to the next level.
You're absolutely right.
On the opposite side of the ball, you think they should have kept D-Hop? DeAndre Hopkins?
I don't think you should keep a guy that doesn't want to be there. And I don't believe you should keep a player that's bad-mouthed in the front office, didn't reflect quarterback who loves the game and all that. But then he's like, oh no, but Kyler's injured, so I wasn't talking about him. But I don't know. I think you got to get a guy like that out of there. It sucks that you're losing a good player, and it's crazy you weren't able to trade him for anything. Like, not even a Amari Cooper 5th round pick. But I think you have to let him go in that circumstance.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta clean house, and it costs you financially, but in the long term, it's the right move for the franchise.
You can't put a price on peace of mind.
No, absolutely not. You looking at this Cardinals roster. I know there's a lot of improvements that need to be made with this Arizona roster. But if Kyler Murray were to be playing, do you think that he would be enough to potentially beat the Cowboys, Dylan?
He certainly helps. Commitment issues aside, or allegedly, but he's a good player. He has a lot of talent and all that. If he ever does put it together and puts in the work, he certainly helps. But in terms of beating us, I just don't think they have enough. Any given Sunday, but the Cowboys I just think they're head and shoulders better across the board.
Yeah.
Agreed. Man, my head is looking like Doug Peterson. I got a big ass head, man. Damn. I gotta get that laptop out of there.
You're talking about me, man. Look at me. I look like a damn bobblehead over here, man. I don't want to hear nothing.
I'm about to coach the Jaguars, dude. I'm about to coach the Jaguars this year. Is this Cardinals game a trap game?
No, because I think the Cowboys will be motivated coming off a loss to the Jets. I have them losing to the Jets. I think they're going to come in and, handle business against the Cardinals. So I say no.
Yeah, I mean, I asked this question, Dylan, because when Mike and I were looking over the schedule a couple of weeks ago, I initially had Cowboys going 0-2 to start the season. And I looked at this game and saying that the Cowboys could kind of be coming in with, slumped shoulders, down bad, if you will, as the kids say, and, kind of overlooking this Cardinals team, thinking that maybe they can just roll the helmets on the field and get by without really trying, because, the Cardinals aren't a very good team, but, they're going to have a veteran quarterback. They've got a good running game. I mentioned the defense has some unique pieces. I just feel like the Cowboys could kind of overlook this, and this could be one of those ugly 7-10 games, like 12-7, and the Cowboys and Dak have to find a way to make a game-winning drive, and they just come up short and start off the season 0-3. So that's kind of why I asked this question. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
A Houston Texans type game, basically, or Commanders in Week 17. It's definitely possible. I mean, I won't, completely dismiss it. But if we really are that team, we are that talented, we should be able to handle business fairly easily.
Absolutely. Okay, so, again, I'm sure I know we're going to go with this question, Dylan, but who will win this game?
I got Cowboys. comfortably.
Yeah, let's hope so. Mike, how about you?
Yeah, I think Cowboys should wipe them out. They're just more talented.
Yeah, although I think this is the trap game. Dallas heads to Arizona on a 2-game winning streak and beats the lowly Cardinals for the first time since 2017.
3-0. What a homer.
Hey, I was feeling optimistic today, Mike. What can I say?
I like it. Hey, I'm rooting for your outcome. Please let that be.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, here we are, Week 4 versus the New England Patriots. In 2022, the Patriots were 8-9. They missed the playoffs. In 2023, their strength of schedule is the third most difficult. And the key stat for the Patriots, New England's defense led the NFL in interceptions returned for touchdowns in 2022 with 5. Dylan, is this the Cowboys' real test, or should I say, is this the Cowboys' real Week 1?
No. I think every game up to this point, is worthy adversary, except for maybe Daniel Jones. But so, I think they'll be battle tested by this point, where I wouldn't say this is their Week 1 per se.
I got you.
What did you? That was one thing I wanted to ask. What did you mean by what? How you faced Aaron Rodgers Week 2, Week 1's division opponent. What did you mean when you? Because I saw this on the show sheet, and I wanted to ask, what would be an answer if somebody said, "Yeah, this is the real Week 1." What would you expect an answer like that to be?
Well, because you think about it, the Cowboys never really play their starters in the preseason, right? Of course, they practice and everything. And then we treat Week 1 like Week 1 versus the Giants almost like a dress rehearsal, if you will. So then you kind of get into the groove. The starters are getting adjusted to the speed of the game again and everything. By Week 4, you would think that the starters are finding their rhythm, if you will.
Okay. Now I understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't remember a lot about the New England team last year, but I know they played us really well in 2021 when Dak broke a bunch of records and beat them in overtime. Do you think this team's better than that 2021 team?
No. I think the Mac Jones magic is kind of worn off. I really respected their defense too back in 2021. It was 2021, and they won 8 out of 9 games at one point. That one loss coming to yours truly. It's neither here nor there, but they were a sneaky good team in 2021, and I think it's hard to match that level that they were at. They were on a really good run.
You look at this Patriots team. Are they being overlooked in the AFC?
No. I mean, you got Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar. Who else we got? We
Herbert,
we got
Watson,
Lawrence,
Rodgers,
we got Herbert,
Rodgers.
Roger. It's just a bloodbath over there, man. I don't think the Patriots are being overlooked. I think it's just everyone else is just at another level. And it's a quarterback.
Their defense is just
in the league.
Yeah.
With the talent discrepancy between the two teams, would a loss surprise you?
No, a loss wouldn't surprise me. It's Bill Belichick. At the end of the day, he's like the greatest coach ever, and he always makes it tough on us. And so, no, a loss wouldn't surprise me, but I expect to win.
Does Dallas's offense or defense give the Cowboys the edge in this game, Dylan?
I think defense for sure in this game. Not Mahomes. Sorry.
Mac Jones.
Quarterback's name. There we go. Mac Jones. I'm sorry. Mac Jones. He's more of like a one-read quarterback. If his first read's not there, he usually dumps it off to the middle. And I think that's going to play right into our defensive hands. You're going to have Diggs and Gilmore just terrorizing the outside. And I think the defense is certainly going to win them this game.
Mike, what about you?
Definitely the defense gives us the edge. We should be able to handle whatever they can throw at us.
I'm kind of surprised that Dylan. We know we'll talk a little bit before we're waiting for Dylan to come back, but I don't know, man. The Patriots defense seems to always be the strong suit for that team, and they got better again this offseason on defense. And then they also, they finally made a commitment to an offensive coordinator. They added Juju Smith-Schuster. Say what you will about him, but he's an experienced receiver. Adding him to Tyquan Thornton, Ramondre Stevenson. I don't know. I feel like people are sleeping on the Patriots. I know you say what you will about Mac Jones, but
if they have a defense good enough to face off with anybody, but if you look at like which would make you more afraid, our defense stopping Mac Jones or their defense stopping Dak, because they had a damn good defense in 2021, and Dak went up to New England and broke records on him. And this team's a lot closer to that team with Gallup going back to a wide receiver 3. We have a more efficient running game with the loss of Ezekiel Elliott. The guys that are getting carries should be getting more efficient rushes. I think while their defense is scary, I'm not going to say it's as scary because the difference in our offenses are much more than the difference in our defenses.
Yeah, I hear you there. Can't argue with you there.
Oh, this is me. I apologize. Dylan, who wins this game, my friend?
I got the Cowboys winning. It's going to be a surprisingly tough game, in my opinion, but I have the Cowboys pulling it out.
Mike, how about you?
You shouldn't be surprised because Bill Belichick's going to have a good game plan. He's going to play us tough. I think, as Dylan said, I think our defense is the difference. Get a couple of turnovers, maybe something special teams wise. Cavante Turpin punt return, maybe a Dorrance Armstrong block, something like that. And we win a tough game where even the score maybe is 10, 11 point victory, but we all know it was closer than that,
Right.
So I'm picking Dallas in a hard fought battle.
Yeah, I'm going Dallas too, in a bit of an ugly game. I know it's going to be here at home, but we know New England's always a physical defense. They always give us a run for our money. They're a good running team. They're gonna, Bill Belichick's the chess master, if you will. So yeah, I have the Cowboys winning a hard fought battle as well. All right, so we're gonna go for a record recap. What's that? 4-0. We'll see, man. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
All right, so we're going to do our record recap. Dylan, it looks like you have the Cowboys going 3-1 in this 4-game stretch. Mike, you also have the Cowboys going 3-1. Me being the optimistic guy this week, I have the Cowboys going 4-0. Looking at the schedule overall, Dylan, what is your record prediction for the Cowboys?
I think it'll be 12-5 again. I think the Cowboys will be a better team than they were last year. The record might not reflect that, but I think they'll go 12-5, probably win the division, and 12-5.
I like it.
All right.
What about? Do you see any trap games other than we discussed Arizona in the first 4? Anything that could be a trap game?
I mean, if the definition of a trap game is, possibly losing to a game worse than you, then damn near the whole schedule is trap games. So, I don't know do we consider Miami a trap game? Because I think they're going to be a lot tougher than people realize. I never know if they're going to give us 15 points or 50, but they're going to be a really tough out.
I hate those 2 games at Buffalo and then at Miami. Yeah. I don't like our offense in Buffalo, and I don't like the matchup of our defense against those Miami wide receivers. So yeah, those are going to be brutal.
I'm with you.
Dylan, you don't strike me as somebody who was like optimistic like me, going 4-0, or thinking that the Cowboys are going to make the Super Bowl every year. But when you look at this team, is Dallas the Super Bowl contender this year in your eyes?
Don't make the playoffs, so by definition, they're Super Bowl contenders.
Okay.
Realistically, it's hard for me, man. I've been broken. I've been
Right.
broken. Them damn Packers killed me twice. I'm still living barely, and then the 49ers came around, beat me down twice. It's hard, man. I need to see them. I need to see them get out of the divisional round, and then maybe I'll be one of those Cowboys fans that we get accused of saying they're going to win the Super Bowl every year. But until then, I think they'll be contenders, but I ain't going to bet money on them winning the Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, what is your Super Bowl prediction then?
Y'all are gonna kill me. I think it'll be Jets and Eagles. I think it'll be Jets and Eagles, man. A green Super Bowl. It'll be my worst nightmare. Aaron Rodgers and the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
We'll be a Aaron Rodgers fan that week then.
Right. All right, Dylan, as we're wrapping things up, man, first I'd like to say I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. Before we get you out of here, can you share some maybe like if you're working on any content podcast or written, do you have any YouTube channels or anything you can share with everybody where we can check out some of your content that you're making?
Come check me out on TikTok, man, at Dylan88Wilson. You're gonna see a lot of Cowboy stuff on there mixed with all the other nerdy stuff that I'm into. But yeah, I made videos on stuff like you remember when that game in New England where Trayvon Diggs was getting blamed for blowing that coverage for the touchdown. I did a play breakdown, explaining how that is on the safety. If you're interested in stuff like that, you can come check it out. And there's a lot of stuff for everybody on there. So yeah, you can find me on there. If not, find me on Twitter, 88 Club Dylan for now until I get suspended again. but I appreciate you guys, man. It was an honor and a privilege coming on here. I'm glad we finally got to chop it up, and it's good seeing you guys, man.
Yeah, for sure. Dylan, again, thank you so much for coming on. But before we get you out of here, remind the people where they can find you on Twitter.
88 Club Dylan. That's the one, man.
And Mike, before we get you out of here, remind the people where they can find you on Twitter, sir.
At Coach of the Jags. Hey, thanks for coming on, Dylan. I appreciate it, man. It's at CD Piglet, letter C, letter D, Piglet. Nice and easy.
I've been always wondering, man. So what's the backstory behind that?
C is Cisco, my best friend since I was forever. D is Darrell, my best friend since forever, since elementary school. And Piglet is my little brother's. We called him that. He loved Piglet from Winnie the Pooh, and so you put those together as CD Piglet, and it's a gamer tag that I had from forever ago that just has stuck forever as like a remembering, where you came from, remembering your best friends, the people that are here. So yeah, that's why it won't change. People think it's about CeeDee Lamb. I'm like, dude, CeeDee Lamb wasn't even born when I got
repping your friends though, man. You can't go wrong with that.
Always.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I can't thank you again. Thank you enough for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15.